I need to wash my hair. That's what I've learned so far from this live, is I need to wash my hair. Whew. It was mostly a good week, guys. It was mostly a good week for me. Not quite what I was anticipating vacation being. There were some snafus, but made do. There was some writing going on. There was not not as much editing as I was hoping to get done. But there was writing. There was naps. There were naps. There was relaxing. There was also some not so fun news coming from my job and fun news coming from my job. So, hi Mandy, hi Amanda. Let's do the good news from my job first. So, hi Marnie. Hi Laura. The good news from my job first, hi Joanne, would be that hi Andrea, after all the stuff that happened, hi Lana, hi Christopher, I was unhappy with how all that went down with my team. So I applied for some different positions within the company and I got one. So I will eventually be transitioning out of my role into a marketing role, which is where I always wanted to be. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about this transition. I feel like it's going to throw our schedule into chaos a little bit because starting a new position, going to be getting the lay of the land. But I will always be communicative. That's the word. And letting you guys know what's going on, if there will be changes to the schedule, if we're going to get back into it. Obviously, we are also coming up on the holidays, which I swear the universe is conspiring against me with this book in like multiple ways. It's beginning to annoy me. So, hi Jamie, hi Tracy, hi Allie. Thank you for all the congratulations on the new job. So that was the good news that came from my job. So, yay, happy about that. On the bad news that came from my job that, took all the de-stressing I had done from taking time off work and, raised my blood pressure. Apparently my blood pressure is too high, guys. I blame my job 100% because I think we can all tell I'm not a calm person. I think that's very clear. I'm an emotional person. But I've never had a problem with my blood pressure. Always been great. But it's a little high. Not like bad high, just high for me. Which I don't know why doctors say, like, it's high for you, okay? But it's not actually, like, high. But I'm supposed to, like, meditate and things. I'm like, how about they just let me write? Because that, I feel like, lowers my blood pressure because it makes me happy. But whatever. I get to tell my boss on Monday I have to lower my blood pressure. But I'm not transitioning to my new role until November-ish, mid-November. And then I'll be doing part-time with my old team and new team. I'm sure that's going to be a great time. It sounds like a great time, doesn't it? I am not enthused about it at all because that sounds horrible. Like, let me be on two teams at once doing half of this and half of that. Because does it ever end up being half and half? I don't know if anyone's ever done this before, but I can promise you there will be no half and half. There will be like two expectations of, hey, do all this, but still do this. So I'm sure that'll be great. But whatever, it's happening. I'm going to be transitioned off the team before the new year. So, woo! That's exciting. The unexciting part is I am not transitioning immediately. So, like I suspected, to be perfectly honest, the girl who does FSI has extended her leave date. And I have yet again been voluntold that I will be doing this through now 11/8. Do I have every belief that I will still be doing this until I literally leave the team? I kind of do. That's kind of the sinking suspicion I'm getting. But it was kind of, there were no regrets about leaving the team after that text from my boss. So basically, our schedule is still in a chaotic state of being. I'm not happy about it at all because I was thinking, I got my transition date. It's 11/14-ish when I was like, okay, I have from 10:25 till 11:14 till ish gets crazy again. Because doing half and half, I'm sure, is just going to be whatever. So I was excited. And then I got that text from my boss, and I was like, okay, so we're just in complete and utter chaos until I don't even know. So I can't say no. I did say no. I've said no twice to FSI. And it hasn't worked out. The transition date has been worked out between my two bosses, so it is what it is. They're just trying to run me into an early grave. That's kind of my conclusion that I have come to. But we are leaving. We are getting off the train because the train was going to a crazy place and I couldn't do it anymore. So I'm getting off the train and getting on a new train. I'm sure it will have its own set of crazy, but it's where I actually want to be in marketing and things. So I will update the Facebook group with everything. I will say I have been working on Alexander's chapter. I intended to edit book 1, but Alexander's chapters were speaking and it was speaking to me. So that's what I did. Sorry, not sorry. I think his chapter is going to be long. I don't know that for sure. It's just the sense I'm getting because I have a few things I want to get through. So I think his chapter might be long. I am crossing all my fingers and toes that it'll be up tomorrow. I'm going to continue. I was working on it before I got on here. I was planning to work on it more, but I had to argue with Patreon for like last night and this morning. It was a very weird situation. I have no idea what happened with that. Just like, you are locked out. Why? Why am I locked out? It's mine. I need to post things. Whatever. The universe is conspiring. It's conspiring, people. Hi, Levon. Thank you. And, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Good news, bad news. So I'm hoping with this, hey, I'm supposed to lower my blood pressure thing. Maybe my boss will be like, maybe FSI is not for you right now. Because I even tried, guys, I even came at it with logic. I was like, I'm leaving the team. I am literally the only person on the team with knowledge about 2 things that are not small things. Even though I've written pictures and step-by-step instruction forums, they can't do it when I leave. They can't handle it. They don't know what to do. Every time I leave, it's a nightmare when I come back. I even was like, I need time to sit with somebody and explain all this. And they're like, well, we'll have 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, bull malarkey. I'm calling malarkey. Because I think I will be doing this until I'm officially off the team. But that's me, and I'm apparently a glass half empty kind of person. I call it being realistic, but that's just me. So, I came at it as you're setting the team up for failure. But it's not going to be my team anymore, so it's not really going to be my problem in a few weeks. So, whatever. But that's where we're at with all of that. I will keep everybody up to date, but I have been working on Alexander's chapters that will be posted hopefully tomorrow. So cross your fingers and toes with me. It's been a while since our last update, and I had honestly anticipated having half a day tomorrow to catch up on my job because I was going to get up early because that's what I usually do, and I can get my job done. I do get my job done during the day while I write. I just write when I have time, but I had calculated it all out, and I was going to have half a day, and that's going to be great, and then we were going to get it posted, and now it's like, oh, you're still doing FSI, and it's like, why don't you just ruin everybody's day? That would be great. So whatever. Yeah. So I still hope that the chapters will be up tomorrow because I have been working on them. So that is my hope. There is quite a bit to get through, though, because we have obviously Alexander's side, and obviously what happened when Melanie left the room was not a quick conversation. So that's where I'm at right now. Where I'm at in the chapter right now is she's just joined back into the conversation. And then obviously we're going to have some chats and things. And then there's a little bit of a showdown at a meeting. It's funny. It kind of gives our group a little bit. So they've heard about Melanie fighting for people to be with their mates. But there's a facet to that they have not heard yet. And it's it's not that our group from Black Path is intending for this to come out. It's that Melanie is told to go into, she's looking for Alexander, and a warrior who knows that's his mate is like, oh, he's in there. She does not tell her that it's a meeting and there's a bunch of people in there. So she goes in there, she's totally Melanie about it, like ranting, whatever. She baked some muffins for him, and Phil is like snatching the muffins. He's like, mine, get away. And so she turns around to leave and sees someone she knows, and chaos ensues from there. And then there's going to be there's a party, and we see a unique take that Melanie has on situations. We'll see a couple of them, but the first one we're going to see is the first one we're going to see at a party is with Eric, and someone speaking to him. So Melanie just has a unique take and kind of a really interesting way of like putting things that people are like, oh, yeah, that's true. So she just has kind of a way of pointing things out that are just not exactly how people are thinking, but she's right. So it's pretty funny. It's the way she words it. She's trying to be like a little bit nice at first. Some interesting facts comes out, because I think if you were going to call back to Cassie and Caden's book in this chapter with the party, and something Caden has been wondering about. So Caden's going to test a theory, and it's pretty funny how it all comes out. Everyone's just like, how did you know that? And it's just a little funny, but we are going to see a unique take that she has on situations that happen. Haley is going to be like, preach in the background. So it's pretty funny. Angela, of course, knew it was going down, so she made sure Dylan had his popcorn. Dylan is all here for it. And then McAllister's are around too. So yeah, it's this next chapter has a lot to it. So I'm excited about it, because there's obviously not going to have a huge confrontation with Alpha Edward yet. They do talk to him. We do see that they're going to talk. So we do see that. So we've got some things to get to. But I do absolutely 100%. My goal is to have it to you tomorrow. So yeah, we've got what happened when Melanie left the room, which is obviously an intense conversation, because there's things that our core group knows that Alexander is like, you are not going to talk about this, and here is why. And Haley's like, agreed. So you've got that. You've got high tensions, because obviously this is not the situation anyone thought they were going into with Melanie, including the Connors. Like there was just nobody really, because of the compulsions and because of other things that we have, hinted at but not explicitly stated, going on, that people, it's just not what they expected to happen when she came back. So they were expecting to hear about New York and about Juilliard and dancing, and that is so not what they're hearing. So we do get a little insight to Drake and his feelings, which I feel, I feel for him. I feel for him and Sam. I feel for the McAllister family, because I think you have to. We have to feel for them, because they're not bad people. There was a lot of things working against them, but Drake kind of doesn't think that matters. So, Not for his family, just for himself. He doesn't think that it matters. So he is deep down the hole and blaming himself, and not really willing to accept any of the things that people say of, well, you were compelled. And Haley's like, I think there's other things going on here too. And he's pretty much just like, it's not going to matter. So do we get a sneak peek at Dylan's point of view on all of this? There is a Dylan's point of view coming in this book. It will not be until later. But Dylan's point of view is funny because it's going to happen because our two main characters are not going to be with the core group. They will have been, but they will go away. And then we just need that. I feel like we need Dylan's take on the core group because he's kind of leading them. He's like, do I have to do everything? He's like, do I have to write? Okay, I'm going to explain this to you like you're a child because clearly I have to. And he does it in a fun Dylan way. And then like things just keep happening that prove that he's right. And everybody's like slowly coming to grips with the fact that he is right. So that's kind of Dylan's point of view, but it's we're not to it yet. But there is a Dylan point of view coming. I like it. Very excited about it. So my heart breaks for all of them. It was a crap situation. It is a crap situation. They were, it's always easier when you have a bad parent, like when you have an Alania or and another parent that we have. I think I've mentioned her name. Or you have a Morgana who is Odette's mother. It's easier when you have a bad parent, but this is a good family that this happened to in a good pack. And it's really sad all around because I think if you really put yourself in which I do, I put myself in the mindset of a lot of my characters. So for Melanie, I think if you put yourself in the mindset of, okay, everything that you've thought was real for the last, almost 7 years is not. Those things that your brother wrote to you, and not just wrote, they did talk on the phone, and that will come out too. So it's not just that she got letters and believed those. Like she snuck away and called him and then, wasn't talking to him, but believed she was. And then we get punished for that. So it's not just she got some letters and believed that. So, yeah. Yay, definitely need a Dylan little rant. Oh, yeah, we gotta have Dylan's rant. And I really think the point of view from his side is really funny. So, Bjorn and Marcus feel Alexander because they are royal and they're actively checking on him. So they feel him because he's in their family. So he's related to Haley. They have a bond with their nephews. Haley can feel her nephews as well. It is not as strong as their children, and they do have to be monitoring it. But obviously, at that point, we know that Caden and Cassie's worries had kind of reached. It definitely reached Bjorn, and Bjorn's one of his closest brothers is Marcus. So Marcus is someone that he relies on, and as a sounding board. So both of them were kind of watching and trying to feel that because it is a smaller connection, but they still have one. So it's any intense emotions they would feel. So when he was worried and anxious because Melanie was in pain because her wolf was unlocking because they locked eyes, the whole family felt that, except for Haley and Eric because they're in her concupiscence and those emotions just override all your connections. So they were the only two that didn't feel it. But he was feeling such an intense emotions that they all felt that. And that's part of why Bjorn went to go find out what's going on. Because Cassie and EJ will always feel Alexander stronger because they're triplets. But for Bjorn, his brothers, Titus, everybody to feel that, it was we got to figure out what's going on. Slight backtrack question. The outtake in Russia, am I reading it wrong? But was the blood pool that Haley did done to her before, or what? Was it a Fabian experiment? No. So what she's talking about, so the blood pool was done by Aiden. He did the charm to send her to her blood. She's comparing the pain to other things she has felt before, like bones being broken multiples at a time, like drinking lemonade. She's comparing the pain to things she has done in the past. This has never been done to her. So Aiden performed the blood pool charm in Emmeline's book. If you need to read that scene again, it's in Emmeline's book. But no, it was never done to her before. No one is powerful enough to do that besides Aiden. She's just comparing the pain to other things she has felt before. Hi, tomorrow. No problem, Marnie. But yeah, we've got a few things to get to in Alexander's chapter. I think it's going to be exciting. So I really do hope it gets up tomorrow. I'm going to be really mad if it's not. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there and let you know my blood pressure will not be low. In book 1, when Aiden and Arian come to the table to negotiate the end of the war, there's an Alpha David Harold there with Eric and co. I'm not sure if he was mentioned again. Where is he? He's just an ally. I think I changed him in the edits to Lucas because originally I was going to have him around a little bit more, but then I thought it would be confusing because we have Harold Connors. So I think in edits I changed his name to Lucas, or I added Lucas. But David Harold is an ally of theirs, and he was just around for the meeting. But I know I added Lucas to the group. I think I changed him out with him, though. I will have to look. But yeah, I've got some exciting things coming up, and obviously the group's kind of going to be talking about things because they're like, I feel like they know. And Melanie's kind of taking the attitude of, if they're not going to ask me, I'm not going to tell them. She has a different attitude with Alexander, Caden, and Micah. She's actually looking for Alexander because she wants to talk to him, Caden, and Micah, and tell them some things, because obviously there are some things she knows that have to come out. So she's kind of she's going to give them what she has, because obviously she can't be involved with hunters anymore because it's going to be known exactly who she is. Not that they didn't know that before, but that she knows, like, her family's not dead and stuff. So that's a big deal. So, she's going to kind of give everything she's got to Caden, but she also wants Alexander to be there and know, so she can explain what she was doing. And then, she tells them they can take it where they want, but she doesn't really want to talk to her family about it. So, but I mean, she makes that decision because obviously there are a lot of people running around all of the packs that she's now going to be around that will recognize her because she's Red One. So they're going to be like, hey, you can't really have people running up to you and hugging you because you saved their lives and having everyone ignore that. So she obviously knows that that's going to be something to tell. Jamie, our update's going to be back to track this week. I did mention this earlier in the video. I could talk about it for a very long time. Short version. Oh gosh, can I do a short version? Let's try. Short version is no. Reasons listed at the beginning of the video that I am mad about. So, from book 1, it said Lucas took over Tucker's pack while he was missing. Is there a particular reason Tucker's brother didn't take over? Is his brother's pack near his? It said why his brother didn't take over. His brother didn't want to. So his brother, his brother doesn't have, I don't think we talked about his brother's pack. His brother is in the pack. He did not want to take his brother's place because to do that would mean that his brother was dead, and he never wanted to admit that that was true. He never believed Tucker was dead, and he was never going to take over his brother's pack. So that's why he felt very strongly about that. So yeah, just having Lucas run it was easier mentally for Taco's brother because he did not want to say my brother's dead. Are we far from Alexander seeing her scars? I need to prepare myself for the upset this will cause. Guys, it's hard for me to say when things will happen. I will say how he sees them is not how you think he's going to see them, and that's what I'll say about that. I will watch the beginning after that, then thank you. Yes, listen to my reasons. I will also explain on Facebook. I'm not happy about it. It was a bitter note to end my PTO on. But far off. Are we far off? I mean, that also depends on the schedule. Far off. It depends on my work and whether or not, I just take another day off because I am like, I need mental health days. I want to say we're not super far off, but we're not like next to it. But I don't know if that helps. Has Tucker's son Blake found his mate? Have they been named? His mate has not been named, and we do not know if he has found his mate. So we shall find out. That helped. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to give you guys some little tidbits without giving away too much because I do know we're in a very weird state that we have not been since I started writing these books. I have never had this many schedule issues, guys. I know you guys have been very patient and generous about it. I have been very angry about it. So, yeah, and just writing makes me happy. It's my creative outlet. It makes me happy. So not being able to do it because doing someone else's job really does not. I told my husband this. I'm sure you guys have seen all the things about it doesn't spark joy. Yes, it doesn't spark joy. So apparently I'm one of those people who was like, this job does not spark joy. I will find another one. So that's what it did. But yeah, I had anticipated being at a very different point in this book when I took my vacation. But not going to rush the story. I've said that many times. I am not going to do that. I'm going to be true to the story and true to the outline, and we're going to get through it. It's going to happen, just not in the timeline that I wanted. And this is why I don't write down timelines. Because I get very angry when I don't stick to my timeline. It makes me unhappy. So I like things to go according to my plan and my list. So, but we are going to get there. We are going to get there. But yes, how he sees her scars is probably not the way that you think he would. You're Lexi for sure with schedule. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lexi and I have that in common. If I make the schedule, gotta stick to it. Gotta stick to it. More just like, I can't make the schedule. Lexi and I do have that in common. But yeah, Alexander doesn't see her scars in the way that people probably think he's going to. So, yeah. So that's fun. So we'll see that. What else can we say? What other questions do we have that I can try not to give away things, but give you a sneak? If you guys don't have anything, that's okay. I know that we didn't have any new material this week for questions, so we can in the live. If you guys want to try to ask questions and see if there's something I can give away without giving away or give a tease or a hint to, I'm open to that too. Or I'm open to going down the wrong pipe. Okay. Who is the next Connors who will find their mate that we mention? Oh dear. Oh. That we mention. It might be Julian. I think it's Julian. Do the girls resolve things easily or chaos with Jason, Dalton, and Dakota? Okay. So we see a little bit of that answer in Alexander's chapter. It's easier for them than it is Melanie because they had never met them. All they know about them is what Melanie knows. The hurt is not as deep for them. Obviously, that is their friend and they care. But for Melanie, this is a group of people that is her family and that she considered family. So that hurt is much deeper there. The explanation for the girls is easier because it is their mates. And Melanie already said what they want to do is fine and that they should give them a chance. So it is much easier for them to understand and come around to the point of view. Paige kind of already started where she said, to be fair to my mate, it's mostly her dad's fault. Most of their problems are going to fall on Peter and Jason, which is harder for Addison. But Addison and Jason have a serious conversation and she listens to everything he has to say. And, she puts herself in his shoes, which is exactly what Melanie wanted her to do. So it is easier for the girls to kind of come to terms with it is their mates. 2 of them have wolves that are like, mate. So while their wolves are loyal to Melanie, Melanie has already said, you have to do what you have to do. You get to be happy. We're still going to be friends. Like, that's not going to change no matter what you choose. So it is easier for Paige, Avery, and Addison to adapt to what happened and recognize it for the tragedy that it is, because it's a tragedy on all sides, and they can see that because they know how badly their friend has been hurting. But they're also going to understand how badly their mates are hurting because of what happened. And yeah, so it's easier for them than it is for Melanie because they don't have any prior connection to them. So, where do the demon brother and sister live? Melanie's friends, not spelling names, Valentina and Virgil. So they live around Nashville. Virgil has already said they're moving, so they will be around. Will Bjorn be issuing any new laws as a result of what has happened recently, like Angela popping alone, Alexander hiding, knowing his mate, and other things that have come to light? Bjorn can control the protection of Angela's, but Angela is his niece, not his child. So it's a little different when Titus was like, you will take Blade everywhere. I have decreed it. He's her father. Bjorn can control the protections around that. Bjorn and Alexander are also going to have a conversation eventually, because obviously there's more at play, because we saw Alexander ignore his instincts twice and he has not been raised to do that. So obviously there are other things going on and things that are at play. So because all of them have ignored their instincts. Every single Connor sibling that knows about the situation, including Eric, have ignored their instincts, which Eric, like, he well knows he should not do, but all the Connors know they shouldn't do that as well. So, like, they've ignored their instincts about it. They've ignored their instincts about whether or not to tell their mother. So there's more going on there. But is he going to change a law? No. For the Hakura, is he going to change a law? Yes. Because obviously Ashley was a source. And we saw when she was seriously hurt, he said he felt it was a mistake not to bring her there, and that's going to change. If any source is seriously hurt, they're going to be brought to the Hakura realm, and they're going to talk to him. So that's changing. Is he changing anything with the Connors? No. So let's see. Are we going to see Melanie Mark Sanders soon? Since they said it was okay. We will find out the answer to that. So yeah, we will find out the answer in Alexander's next chapters. So how many chapters is Alexander's book going to have? I don't know that answer. I know how many plot points are in it. I don't map out chapters and say this is chapter, 98, whatever, I anticipate this being as long as the first 3 books, maybe a little longer. I don't know. We'll have to see how the plot points fit into how many chapters that ends up being. I don't know. I just know that I have these points that I have to get through. That is in my outline. Will Emmeline bring up the conversation they had with Dylan's parents about suppressing a wolf? They're all going to talk about it. Obviously, we've seen the adults know what's going on. The kids don't quite understand how they all know exactly what happened, because they had to look into it. They had to Corbin look into it. So there's going to be a conversation about that, and Emmeline will be there. Yes, Dylan will be there too. Travis is going to be there. So they feel somewhat responsible. So Travis and Dylan will be there, which means Lucas will be there. So if Alexander marked her with his Hakura teeth, would that count? He's not going to mark her with his teeth in any way in case it could prevent her from shifting. So note emphasis on anything I said and take it how you want to. I'm rereading book 3, and Eric is talking to Chase about Alpha Theo, and he says Theo hates him and that Eric doesn't give he's just an ally. Their feelings change over time. Yes, they did. So Alpha Theo didn't like him because of Beta James and his sisters. They joined the council together and basically buried the hatchet once they joined together. Alpha Theo still doesn't like Lucas, but Eric never cared if Theo liked him or not. So it is helpful that their relationship is kind of back on track, where they're on speaking terms. They were always allies. Eric just didn't care if he liked him or not. Now they talk, they're fine. But yeah, they buried the hatchet when they both joined the council together. So isn't he marked already with the tattoos? The larger group does not know that. And even if they did, they don't know what that means, because that's not how Wolf marks their mate. So the only people that know that at this moment are Phil and Alexander. I can't remember if Sierra saw his. I'll have to look at my notes. But yeah, so nobody knows that. Melanie knows about hers, so she doesn't know about his at this point. So the only people that fully know what happened are Alexander and Phil. So, and Phil's, looking into things quietly and stuff, and he's super thrilled about it. How far are we from a full-blown meltdown for Melanie? Near and far. Say that. Near and far. We'll see a little bit of one over things and stuff in the next chapter, a little bit, not quite, full blown. I think we see more of a full blown one. Gosh, it's so hard to say. We see more of a full blown one with things involving Red Run. So Da, da, da. Will Alexander share his light again before or after he marks Melanie? We'll see what he does. I mean, it's the only thing he has that he can do at this point that he feels. No one said anything about it. And it obviously didn't affect Freya the first time he did it. So that's all he has. And he's an alpha. So let's say that. Does anyone know what that mark means, or they need a wolf there to say what it means? We're going to find out. We're going to find out who Alexander tells, because I don't think I need to say he's not going to tell a larger group. He's not going to. But he is going to confide in a few people and see if they know anything about it. But to him, in his mindset, it's not the larger group's concern, because it involves him and his mate, and it's not their business. And so he's going to ask people that he thinks might know. So, can you explain the fairy royalty bit? Like, Mercutius is a water prince and Findleton was a fire prince. Does each element have their own king? So we've explained this in the book. Each water, sky, earth, and fire all have princes and princesses and duchesses of their group. They have a main ruling family that has a king. So there's only one king, and that is Aiden Halloran. So they all, there's always one ruling family, but there are like princes of the water fae and other things, and they do get together and hold a council with the king and kind of talk about their grievances and stuff. And they do have their own ideas. They're kind of like lords. If you want to compare it to like something of how it would work in a monarchy we've seen, it would be like a king with a lord and stuff like that. But there's only one king, and I do believe we talk about that in the book. Fabian was a prince. So Phelan was a princess. Fabian was a prince. He was prince of the Sky Fairies. And since Alania was the oldest, she was the one who was queen. Rhea knows, doesn't she? Does Rhea know what? Can you tease us with a plot point down the line that won't spoil your plans? I feel like I've done that a couple times. Let's see. What can we say? I will say there are a couple of situations that'll come up at big moments, where Melanie is still that eye in the sky instead of being an active participant. She really does struggle being around her family again, and particularly being in Red Run. So there will be instances where she wants to be there, and there are other things going on yet again that she is unable to. So she remains in the shadows and ends up fighting some unexpected battles, being shimmered around by demons, being in multiple places, and people are like, I swore she was here, but then she was there, and now she's there. So it's funny to see. We're going to see the side of like, because they're like, the sniper was here, but the sniper was there, and now we're going to see Melanie's side of how all that happens. So that's a fun plot point. We're going to see, there's going to be something that goes down in Red Run while simultaneously something else is going on. We're going to see Melanie take charge at Black Mountain and send people places. And we're going to see how people follow her. We're going to see a fun speech from her in an allied territory that eventually everyone's going to show up to. She's just going to get there first. And then we're going to see something very interesting go down in Blue Moon after that whole big craziness. Melanie kind of showing up just sparks a lot of craziness. because a lot of things just get set off. So I feel like that was teasing a big plot point. You'll have to tell me. I have so many that run around my head. When will Nathan come back? At the end of the book. When does Alexander tell Melanie that he shared his light? Soon. The answers to everything on what she and Melanie are and the tattoos. Rhea is Elise's wolf. Freya is Melanie's wolf. So Rhea does not know Freya's name yet. Does Freya know all the answers to all those questions? Yes, she does. That was brilliant teasers. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. But yes, Freya knows everything about what's going on. So, whoops. Oh, it happens. There's a lot of wolf names going on. There's a lot of names going on. You were close. They're going to be sisters-in-laws that are somewhat related. Will Alexander actively participate in the resistance with Melanie? I mean, not in the way you mean. It's interesting. Okay, how this all comes out. So obviously they know that she's in the resistance. They know that. There's on Patreon, there is a tidbit about the shell corporation of the resistance. And that is something that Alexander and Gunnar have talked about, because he asked him to find these two buildings, and Gunnar was like, it's owned by a shell corporation. I'm hitting some walls, finding out who owns it. I will get back to you. So the name of that shell corporation is listed in one of the outtakes on here. And that is a sneak for future things. And because eventually, obviously, Gunnar is going to say, this is the shell corporation to a specific group of people. And based on what it is, it should tell you who's going to figure out what it is. And it sparks a very interesting conversation between that character and Melanie. So Haley was surprised when Aiden announced the triplets as Dukes and Duchess of Ray. Did Aiden do that for all of her children? Yes, he did. So we'll do a few more minutes, see if you can get anything else out of me, and then I gotta go get my child. I'm pretty sure I hear him talking. Does anyone else feel like you can do that? Like you're not near the monitor, but your mom brain is telling you that your child's like babbling? My husband is next to the monitor, so he could probably tell me. But I swear, like mom brain, I hear that child no matter where he is. So, but yes, we'll do a few more minutes and then I'll go get him. Any last minute questions? Okay. Momdar is a real thing. Thank you. I was beginning to think I was crazy. I was like, I swear I hear that kid. But yeah, it's an interesting conversation is coming up between the character that kind of puts it all together, and Melanie, because obviously we've heard Alexander's theory. It's going to line up with pretty much what everyone else thinks. Because when you think about a group of people that could start this, obviously the Connors are at the top of that list. Like they could start this group of people. Haley could start this group of people. Aiden could, Bjorn could, but none of them did. So the list of suspects of people that could do this, like Alexander's theory, makes sense to everybody of who did it. So they're not exactly on the right track. But if you want to be fair, which we're dealing with fairies, so let's be fair, they have no reason to think that Melanie would start it. They obviously know she's helping fund it, which makes them mad because they're like, this is Supernatural Council, you have money. So yeah, they don't they don't necessarily understand she has the resources to do all of these things. So, are Booker, Trevor, and Ajax going to be found soon? Some of them might be found sooner than others. Are they going to be found soon? One of them is found in that culmination of we have that huge thing where Melanie's in like multiple places. And then after that, we have a pretty big thing going down in Blue Moon. One of them will be found in that series of events. So soon is a relative term. Okay, we'll give it one more minute, and then I got to go. And we're all going to cross our fingers. Alexander's chapter is coming out tomorrow. He was mentioned again when he brings his daughter's mate to Haley to heal her broken back. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were right, Cassie. Thank you. Has the lawn stopped growing yet? It rained today, so it couldn't mow. So it's been colder. It just needs to die. Will we see the Supernatural Council and the Werewolf Council taken to task? So Eric is on the Werewolf Council. The Supernatural Council, the Werewolf Council, and the Connors are going to try to prove that they have done this. They don't exactly have proof. What they do have proof of is that they have not been checking on these packs that didn't want the Werewolf Council involved with. So will they be taken to task over that? Absolutely. Absolutely they will. Because that's just not going to sit well with a lot of people. So, for obvious reasons. Because you have, yeah, you've got a lot of shady stuff going down with that. But all right, we'll end on that question. Everybody have a great Sunday. And we are hopefully going to be with an update tomorrow. And I will be posting on the Facebook group probably later today about the curse word that is now FSI that is still on my plate. With the happy news, though, because we're moving on. We're moving on. There is an end deadline, an end date to that. So I'll post all that on Facebook later. Yeah. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're back to your non-regularly scheduled program because we're still in limbo. But we are back, and there will be updates. That much we know. So, yay. And if I don't get locked out of Patreon, there will be an outtake every day this week. So if you don't see one, it's because I have been locked out of my account for some strange reason. But hopefully that doesn't happen again. So, all right. Bye, everybody.